My name is Harper Quinn. I'm 42 years old, and the night my parents skipped my award ceremony, I learned what invisible truly means. I'd been nominated for a National Innovation Prize, something I'd built quietly after years of being the family's afterthought. When the invitation went out, I sent them one too. Mom replied with a heart emoji. Dad said he'd check the calendar. They never came. Instead, that same night they posted pictures, all dressed up at my brother's local award dinner. His trophy? Community leadership. My national award? Not even a mention. When I saw the photos, something inside me didn't just break. It froze. I smiled at the screen like someone who'd just seen the truth for the first time. After years of being the quiet daughter, I sent one message in the family group chat. No hard feelings, but I'm done trying to exist in rooms I'm not invited to. Then I blocked every number. Every single one. Break time equals 2/. If you're watching this, drop a comment if you've ever been replaced by your own family. And hit like, because silence? It's louder than applause. But what none of them knew was that my silence had a plan. A patient one. Because a year later my name would end up somewhere they never expected. In a place where their pride couldn't follow. And the phone that once stayed quiet would start ringing again. I just didn't expect it to be my brother's voice trembling on the other end. That we were never really a family. We were a stage show. My dad, Richard Quinn, was the self-made real estate mogul who loved being seen shaking hands more than holding hearts. My mom, Ellen, was his social mirror. Every smile rehearsed, every tear hidden behind pearls. And then there was Ethan, my brother. The golden child. Captain of everything. The boy who made Dad proud. Me. I was the daughter who loved books more than brunches. While they planned family galas, I stayed in the garage building things, drones, engines, ideas. They'd say, Harper's smart, but she doesn't fit the image. When I started my own company at 35, no one came to the launch. When Ethan got his first promotion, they threw a catered dinner with banners. But I didn't mind. I told myself, let them have their spotlight. Until the night they skipped my national award, I thought maybe they just didn't understand me. But no, they understood perfectly. They just didn't care. So I disappeared. Changed my number. Sold my car. Moved to a small apartment in Chicago. For a year, no calls. No birthdays. No guilt. Just me and the work. By month 10, I was in a lab at 2 a.m. when the Forbes editor emailed. We'd like to include you in 30 under 30 innovators reimagined for your sustainability tech. Are you free for a shoot next week? I laughed out loud. Not because I made it, but because I knew they'd find out without me saying a word. And when they did, it wouldn't be pride they'd feel. It would be panic. It started with a missed call. Then 3. Then a message from a number I hadn't seen in over a year. Ethan, call Dad. It's urgent. I didn't. By the 4th call, curiosity won. I picked up. Harper, he stammered. You made Forbes. Apparently, I said. I saw the magazine. My dentist. With your face on the cover. Hope my smile looked good, I replied. He exhaled sharply. Dad's losing it. He's furious you didn't tell us. Tell you? I laughed. You didn't tell me you were replacing me. There was silence on the line, the kind that tells you guilt has no script. Then he whispered. He wants to meet. Says he has a proposal. Break time equals 2/. Proposal. My father didn't propose, he offered deals. And I wasn't in the business of deals anymore. But that word, it stayed in my head all night. Because something told me this wasn't about family anymore. It was about control. And I was finally the one holding it. The invitation came in an embossed envelope. Family dinner. Sunday. 7 p.m. Home. It was the same house where I'd grown up. The same walls where my silence used to echo. I almost didn't go. But curiosity is a dangerous thing. When I walked in, Mom gasped. Oh, sweetheart, you look so successful. Ethan gave an awkward half-smile. Dad stood tall, pretending to command the room. So, he said, pouring wine, you're in Forbes. Congratulations. Must be quite something. I just nodded. Then he leaned forward. Your company's valuation, $80 million, right? There it was. The real reason. He smiled, cold and familiar. I was thinking, with your name in the spotlight, we could merge your patent into Quinn Industries. Keep it in the family. I almost laughed. Keep it in the family? You mean the same family that didn't even show up for me? Mom sighed. Honey, don't be dramatic. I stood up. You're right, Mom. I'm not being dramatic. I'm being decisive. Then I walked to the door. Enjoy your dinner. You'll read about my next move in the papers. Break time equals 2/. And when I said that, I already knew what that move would be. Because the next press release wasn't going to be about my company. It was going to be about theirs. 3 weeks later, Quinn Industries investors received an anonymous tip. A 67-page document. Internal numbers. Legal inconsistencies. Shell companies. All factually accurate. I didn't write it out of revenge, I wrote it out of truth. Dad always taught us that business was about loyalty. He just forgot it applies both ways. The press picked it up. Real estate tycoon under investigation for financial misconduct. The morning it broke, I sat in my office watching the stock ticker sink. My assistant asked softly, "Are you okay?" I smiled. "I'm free." That night Dad called. I didn't answer. He called again. And again. By midnight I got a text. "You'll regret this." But I didn't. Because for the first time he was living in my silence. Not the other way around. A week later Mom showed up at my office. Her makeup was smudged, her pearls trembling on her neck. "Harper," she said softly, "he's broken. He keeps asking where he went wrong." I looked at her, the same woman who once said, "You're not photogenic enough for family portraits." I handed her a check. "For the mortgage. You can stay in the house. But the company? That's his to face." She blinked back tears. "You're so much like him." I smiled faintly. "No, Mom. I just learned from him." And as she left, I finally felt what I'd been chasing for years. Not revenge. Balance. A month later, Quinn Industries filed for bankruptcy. Dad disappeared from the press. Ethan took a job in another state. The family chat, once filled with photos, jokes, and subtle insults, turned silent. Then one night my phone buzzed again. It was a text from Dad. "I'm proud of you. I just wish it didn't take this." I didn't reply. Instead, I opened the window of my apartment, felt the wind hit my face, and whispered, "Neither did I." Because sometimes you don't burn bridges for revenge. You burn them so no one ever crosses back to hurt you again. 1 year later, Forbes called again. This time for a cover titled, "The Woman Who Built Herself Back." At the photo shoot, the editor asked, "Do you have a message for your family?" I smiled. "Tell them I finally understand what family means. It's not who claps for you, it's who doesn't when you fall. Break time equals 2/. If you've ever been the forgotten one, remember this. Sometimes silence isn't surrender. It's strategy. Have you ever faced betrayal? Share your story in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, because sometimes the best revenge is becoming unforgettable. Revenge doesn't shout, it shines.